I represent independent Jewish voices who are Jews across Canada who stand solidly with the campaign for justice for Palestinians and with the campaign to end weapons of war forever. We challenge the legitimacy of the Israel lobby and Canada's complicity in promoting Israel's war crimes and violations of human rights and international law. Today, we stand proudly opposed to CanSec, to allowing our city to being used to sell weapons anywhere, and especially to be used against the people of Palestine. In the face of the growing list of Israeli atrocities and war crimes, we have become Zionists who say, "Not in our name." We support the just demands of the people of Palestine. There are other reasons why we need to link the issues of war and war profiteering and Israel. As the only nuclear power in the Middle East and the fourth or fifth largest military power in the world, Israel is a war industry. Israel pushed hard for the U.S.'s disastrous war against Iraq, and it is now lobbying hard for the U.S. to attack Iran. Many people think that the Bush War on Terror was a newly minted response to the 9/11 attacks. Not so. Benjamin Netanyahu invented the concept and laid out all of the elements of a war on terror in 1979, 30 years ago, at the Jerusalem Conference on International Terrorism, another term that he coined. What he meant by international terrorism was any popular resistance funded by another country, in that case the Soviet Union. He and Shimon Peres sold the war on terror policy to George Bush Sr., then CIA head, and to Ronald Reagan, shortly before launching Israel's 1982 assault on Lebanon. Since 9/11, the Israel lobby has waged its own assaults on Muslims, and worse, it has been, quote, providing valuable lessons to the United States in its own war on terrorism. Israel has also always served as a strategic asset to various imperial powers, most recently the United States, of course, supporting oppressive regimes not just in the Middle East, but elsewhere, for example, in South African apartheid, El Salvador, Taiwan, Guatemala, and Chile. Last January, during the Gaza attack, the people of Gaza were guinea pigs for Israel to field test and eventually market new horrific weapons specifically designed for powerless urban populations, such as flechettes, white phosphorus bombs which burn you to the bone and that can't be fixed, that they can't be stopped, and remote-controlled predator drones which it used purposely to target children playing on roofs who had nowhere else to play. Some of those weapons are on sale here in Ottawa at the CanSec show, and we are shame. Canada's growing ties with Israel are also damaging our own sovereignty, reputation, civil liberties, and internal policies. Canada has abandoned its honest broker policy, such as it had in relation to Israel-Palestine. In 1997, Canada quietly approved the Canada-Israel Free Trade Agreement. Since then, our trade and military ties with Israel have become far stronger. We now sell hundreds of millions of dollars of component parts for Israeli weapons and security devices. Shame. Good. Under the Harper government, Canada has repeatedly pledged unconditional support for Israel and claimed that Israeli values are our values. Is that true? No. Excellent. In March 2008, under the Harper regime, he quietly passed the Canada-Israel Public Security Agreement, which gives Israel direct influence over our immigration, policing, prison, and security policies and practices. This threatens to undermine our civil liberties and promote torture as a valid interrogation method here in Canada. Shame. We are seeing the Liquidization of Canada. The Israel lobby, the most powerful lobby in the US and Canada, is an unholy alliance between the world's military and corporate powers, right-wing Christian Zionists, including Stephen Harper, and pro-Israel Jewish organizations working under the control of the Canadian Council for Israel and Jewish Advocacy, CIJA. These are the masters of war, and in shutting down CanSec, we can help shut them down too. CanSec is going to be over soon, and I think we need to be thinking beyond this week. Among the many Canadian companies exporting military products to Israel are several right here in Ottawa. For example, Absu Pulse Electronics in Carp, AD Metro in Gloucester, KG Canada on Wilbrod Street, Mechren Power Systems on Caladar Avenue, Optotech Limited on Montreal Road, Pixel Links on Conroy Road, and Planetree in Arnprior. This summer, I propose that we visit them and tell them loud and clear that we don't welcome murderers as our neighbors. Let us say together, peace, peace. Shalom, shalom. Salam. No CanSec here. No CanSec here. Thank you.